I cast Terra Stomper. He can't be countered. And you think this gives you power over me?
Released on March 4th, 1994, Wizards of the Coast released the 5th set of the Magic the Gathering card franchise. Titled Antiquities, this was the second expansion set following the previous set Arabian Nights.
What do we know about the crew of the skyship Weatherlight? The citizens of Dominaria have had enough of the activities of these rowdy humanoid individuals and their pesky sentient fungus. But what can we do about these dangerous individuals? One thing we could do is elect a strong leader who has proven himself time and time again.
Number 20, Pithing Needle. The only card that came out of the Saviors of Kamigawa expansion, Pithing Needle was a card that was able to shut down a card that was named after it came onto the battlefield. When it was in the standard format, it was a cheap sideboard inclusion card for many control style strategies and accumulated 90 top 8 placings overall.
Good evening, and today we're going to sit down and have 15 questions with the Card Bazaar himself. Coach, how you doing this evening? And what are some good printing things you've done recently? You did a 3D printer, right?
Yes, sir. Well, so far I'm doing okay. Just got off work not too long ago. 3D printer wise, now that you mention it, so I made my last video was I was trying to woo Hero Forge into trying to get stuff made. So I've made this particular character. So this is a human barbarian with a crown on it. So he's a barbarian king. So this is going to be for some of our D&D adventures later on.
Nice.
But so far I'm trying to make my prints better. I'm actually going to get a new printer tomorrow or Wednesday. So I'm going to get one that I could get some of these lines out. But yep. So I've made this particular print so far, along with some other stuff. And yeah, I'm just trying to get a D&D campaign going, or trying to actually help my DM get more stuff.
Nice, yeah.
So it's cheap for him, and I just give away stuff. Like I keep telling the community, like, hey, just send me the shipping fee, and I'll just send you stuff. Or I even told a whole bunch of people, like, hey, whatever you want, just give me the print file. I'll print it. I'll just send it to you. I won't even charge you. I'll even pay for your shipping, and still, barely anyone's responded. So
well, I actually, so I did see, I saw that tweet on Twitter. I mean, because that's where you see tweets, right? And I just been so busy, I haven't been able to respond. But I got something for you that I think be kind of cool. So we'll talk later about that.
Dude, heck yeah, send it to me. I'll print it. I'll send that bad boy.
So let's go ahead and let's get right into it.
Okay.
And we'll start out with a sort of casual question, something that's really easy and not to stump you too much. But I'd like to introduce you to my channel, as well as for people who are watching this. Describe your channel. How do you define your content?
History of Magic the Gathering is probably the best way I could put it. I was when 2 years ago I started this channel. I'm still a history teacher, social studies teacher, and I've only been playing at that time for about 2 years, and there's not really a lot of history-based videos for the community. And I wanted to look more into the history and trying to get caught up with all this stuff and see what the best cards were. And there wasn't really a whole lot. There wasn't a big series or like set breakdowns, with the exception of maybe a couple big ones, but of the more popular ones. But that was one of my ideas going in when I was trying to figure out my YouTube channel, was there is no history based series over Magic the Gathering,
right,
or a continuous series. So that's where I stepped in and started making the history stuff, and now getting more into the math and analytical side, but it's still using history, like the top 100 performing cards I just did. That's kind of a history-based, math-based video into what we're kind of evolving into. But yeah, just not a whole bunch of history stuff, because I was more interested in hey, how did this game evolve? And I decided, well, I guess I'll do it on I guess I'll do it. So that's how it ended up. That's how I would describe my channel, as a history of MTG, history of Magic the Gathering.
Nice. Yeah, and you got let's see, you got 52. You said 52 episodes of Card Anthology or something like that.
Yeah, I just finished Dissension, and that would make 52. So yeah, we just finished the Ravnica block.
Wow, that's crazy. That's a lot of episodes, man. It's a lot of time too.
A lot of time that I will not get back.
Hey, but you know what? You get back the love, right? Like the views and everything that you get is incredible. So.
Well, and it is starting to slowly pay off. Like, I'll be honest, like I just finally, actually today, weirdly enough, I got a direct deposit from Google for the AdSense, so all the stuff that's monetized. I got paid one time back in May for like $100 for all the previous 7 months of $15 here, $15 there, and it just eventually added up. And when you hit $100, Google sends you a direct deposit check.
Right.
Well, this month I was under 90 from last month, and then I got another 100 and something for this month, and now I got like a check for $182. So now I'm starting to get like a monthly $100 plus check.
Nice.
For all the views. So it's finally starting to pay off. However, it's not to where I could I could just quit my job or anything, or have like two incomes, but it's something that's finally like starting to show. So it's like, 2 years of grinding it out. Now I'm getting like kind of like $100 a month stipend finally.
Wow, that's good. So why did you call yourself the Card Bazaar?
Purely democratic. It was my older brother's idea. There was 3 of us that originally started it, and we were supposed to go with another. We were supposed to go with another channel. We were supposed to actually do something like MTG Deck Techs, and originally the channel was supposed to be like a business, and later on it evolved into a channel. So we were like going to sell cards on eBay and stuff, buy like the booster boxes, make budget decks, and we are going to do this whole business model idea, and it eventually changed into a YouTube channel. And so the democratic process, we were voting on it, and I got outvoted, so it was the Card Bazaar. So yeah.
If I may ask, like, what were the other ones on the table that?
It was MTG Techs, and I think really that was the only one. We had 4 different names, and I just can't remember the other 2. It was like really weird stuff. But Card Bazaar, it was my older brother's idea, and I guess I really did not like the name at first, and then right now it's just like stuck. So it's like, okay, I guess we'll go with it. 2 years later, like, yep, that wasn't a bad. Yeah, I'll admit, 2 years later, it's not a bad name. So
yeah, it's pretty great. I like it. I was like, it was something that you don't necessarily. It's off the wall, but I think it matches perfectly for the content, right? Like you have like the great information based videos, and sometimes it's just comes out with bizarre information.
Yeah, like I didn't. That was just a weird one for me, to be honest. Because I'm just like, oh hell, this actually worked. To some extent, it's like, wow, this worked actually. So yep, got to admit defeat whenever you get the chance.
There you go. It just hits sometimes, right?
Yeah, I know. It's for my older brother too. He's like, man, I have to admit defeat to him.
No, yeah. So okay, so you guys created the YouTube channel, originally going to be a business adventure, but did you when you thought about it, did you look at any other YouTubers? Like, did you have any influences of like, yeah, I want to sort of model myself against this person, or did you like see other YouTubers that you kind of like looked after?
We were watching Tulare Community College for about a year at that time. And so that was, one day, I think what would turn into the having the YouTube channel was about making content and trying to make it stick out. That was big. That was a big video influence that I got. And then watching like the Planeswalkers and the lore, Definitely Simon too was another big influence. In fact, and like those are the two big ones. I think, when I watched Wedge a few times, it was probably after I started making. I want to say I started making content, or I started watching him a little bit after I made the channel, if I remember correctly. But it was a couple of Tolarian videos and Simon. So I mean, those were two big YouTubers that made like a significant impact on, my content creation.
Nice. Yes. I mean, two very good creators. I mean, like.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Brian's okay. Like he does okay for himself. Oh man. So, what's your favorite part of being a YouTuber? Like, do you say that to yourself sometimes? Like, I'm a YouTuber.
No. Weirdly enough, I don't. Like, I have to like kind of think back as like, for kind of turning into a hobby, this is taking a lot of my time. Like, I probably need to see like seek medical attention or like, but yeah, kind of like it's like, because my kids always, they watch YouTube all the time, and then they see me. It's like, wow, he's actually making money off of this stuff, and he's actually making videos, and like, in some cases, like a lot of them, like, or actually a couple of them play Magic, and like, he's actually making really good videos about this. So, in a way, they're like kind of jealous because all those kids want to be like YouTube, Fortnite, PUBG kind of YouTubers and like making it big, and then they see me as like, yeah, I think they're jealous.
Right.
But I don't see it that way to where it's like, wow, I'm a YouTuber. I'm just Coach Russell. I'm just everyone's football coach and teacher, and trying to make sure that my students and my athletes don't like screw up in any sort of way. So I don't really think of myself as a YouTuber for the most part.
Well, I think your view count would probably suggest differently.
I mean,
just saying.
You're not wrong, but it was, I don't know. It's never crossed my mind. Like a lot of times, especially like at my job, it's like, okay, I got to get stuff done.
Right.
Every now and then I'll get on like Twitter and stuff, but it's like, it's never really hit or really sunk in, I guess. It's like, wow, like this is a thing. And I'm still kind of like, well, I could be better. So I don't like John, when he tweeted today, he was like, John's like the pizza guy. And then like, Card Bazaar, or like Coach 5,000 plus subs, like a YouTube star. And I had to edit to like more like a YouTube scrub, but whatever. That's fine. Cause I'm thinking YouTube star was like 100,000 plus subscribers, big silver play button, which if I get that, I'll be, admirably shocked. So, but no, I don't really think of myself as a big YouTuber or anything. Like, it really hasn't sunk in. So I'm just doing my job, and I'm just, doing what I like to do.
Your coach.
So, that's what people see me as most of the time.
Well, that's what I call you all the time. Like, it wasn't even until like I think last week when you were on on our stream or whatever. Like, yeah, I didn't even know your name, your real name until then. I was like, oh yeah, okay, that's funny. But okay, so let's get into Magic questions, because that's where the fun is, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So kind of the first question that I always like to ask when it comes to Magic the Gathering is when did you play Magic for the first time? What hooked you in? What was your sort of like origin story of how you started playing Magic?
Well, I was exposed to it like early, but never really thought about it. We had a friend like before we moved over to Corpus, that we were living in Chalmette, Louisiana at the time, and we had a friend that like kind of exposed us to Magic. Just brought like cards around and probably played like a couple days, but past that we were just more into like cards are not a thing right now. We'll just go keep playing outside or building little wooden forts and all that, because we had a grandpa that was like big into carpentry, so that was like our thing. And then it really didn't come back. Magic really didn't come back for us until like, oh gosh, like Theros Cons.
Okay.
Like right at like the edge of the Theros block and the start of the cons block was where like our friend Zane came into the picture and like re-exposed us to Magic. Before that, I was actually moreover exposed to like and playing a little bit more Yu-Gi-Oh than anything, just like Nick from Mana Dorks. So that was like, and like I thought Yu-Gi-Oh was like awesome. Like I liked the art, I liked all the different stuff from the show. I mean, the show was a big influencing anime that I grew up with, and you know that was the thing I grew up on, and then got exposed to Magic, and yep, cardboard crack for life.
So you would say what was the first set that you started really playing Magic then? Is that Theros you said?
Cons.
Cons, okay.
I would admit Cons of Tarkir was probably the first one I like really had my first FNM and made like a $10 like mono white budget deck that I just scrounged up from like the common uncommon bucks for a quarter a card. So and got like went like I think I went like 2-2-1 or like yeah I went like 2-2. Weirdly enough, it was stupid. So like I don't know how I won those two games in the first place. That was awful.
So when you start like when you really started playing after you got into learning how to construct decks more, like was there a deck that you always went to play, like an archetype or a card or any type of cards that you like to play with when you first started playing? Like is there
I got hooked on very early to Warriors. Specifically Black White Wars was my deal at the time. Even though it was a field full of Abzan, I still did like pretty well with a Black White Wars deck, something that nobody played and nobody expected to do well at that local game store. Little did I know, like I should have probably played more Abzan, like Siege Rhino, all that stuff. Knowing now is like, damn, like I didn't know any of this. I was just like winging it. So with like what I had, so I mean, and then like when Battle for Zendikar came out, like the allies, I really wanted allies to like be a thing, but Eldrazi was just so powerful, especially in Modern at the time. So it's like I was trying to make allies work, a budget allies deck. Like that's one of my older videos, is making a $5 MTGO Black White allies, stupidly cheap and pretty fun to play with. So, but yeah, like there's some archetypes like the more soldiery fighting human types. So yeah, that's kind of what I got hooked on. And then later on I switched over to like playing more white blue because after doing some research, that's actually like the most successful color combination in just all of Standard.
Yeah. It was, it was an interesting time during those days. And Siege Rhino, oh man, Siege Rhino. It's so hilarious too, thinking of when Siege Rhino was a $25 card. Now you can get it for like $1.
Yeah, that was I was really surprised about.
It's so crazy the swings with these cards, and it's it is what it is. It's how it goes.
Oh yeah.
So, the next question is a very interesting one because it kind of elicits some interesting kind of responses, and that's what something that Wizards has created, and let's just say the last like 5 years or so, that you don't like if they've released something that you're like, that was kind of, I mean, and wait, hold on, let's I'll clarify. We've already discussed the Mythic Edition, so let's not.
Yeah. So okay, scratch that one out.
What would you change about the game, as far as in regards to what they've released recently or in the last 5 years?
Oh my gosh.
Meaning a product. Sorry, to clarify even more over a product.
Like an individual product.
Yeah.
I think Iconic Masters was kind of I don't like Iconic Masters. They could have just, especially when Masters 25 came out, having that like compilation set. But Iconic Masters, like, I didn't like that. It was just a weird set. Just looking at it. So I really liked Masters 25, but Iconic Masters was like they could have scrapped that. They could have been no thanks. So really past that, I haven't I haven't really thought about it too much, but Iconic Masters is the one that sticks out. I would say Arena of the Planeswalkers, but then again, I just bought Arena of the Planeswalkers like last month, and spending like I think it was like $20 or $25 on like 50 plus miniatures for D&D. I mean, shoot, I think that's a great product. I don't even play the actual Arena of the Planeswalker game. I just want to use the minis because it's WotC. D&D makes WotC makes D&D too. So it's like, here you go, 50 cents per model, and they're already colorized. So I mean, I can't say that's a bad one. So no, we're gonna stick with Iconic Masters. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think there's quite a few people that would agree with you there.
Yeah.
So, kind of like moving past the negative there, like, what is your favorite thing about Magic the Gathering?
The Commander products.
Really?
Yes. Especially, my favorite one's still Atraxa. I like the Planeswalker archetype. That is one of my favorite archetypes. So I like playing like Super Friends, and Atraxa is like perfect for that. So, and it's hard to get away from Planeswalkers because they're just so good sometimes.
Yeah, I really do, and I guess I'm gonna have to wing something here because that is actually one of my Fast Five questions. So
there you go.
Scratch that So yeah, no, I agree. So Commander products, and they are, I mean, really, they are the most popular supplemental product too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so now we've reached the point where we go to the Fast Five, where you can only answer yes or no.
Okay.
Nothing else.
All right.
All right, so you ready?
Yes.
Will Magic the Gathering last another 25 years?
No.
Wow, okay. We'll have to unpack that one. Will the reserve list ever get printed again?
No.
Do Planeswalkers need to be printed more?
No.
Do more cards need to be unbanned in the game?
Repeat that question again.
Do more cards need to be unbanned in the game?
No.
Will Hasbro sell Wizards of the Coast?
Yes.
All right. So I normally will ask if you want to unpack something, but I need to unpack that first question.
There you go.
The 25 years, not lasting 25 years. Why do you think that?
I don't know. It's just with the way I think in a sense like paper Magic's going to die off because we're going to go more into digital form, and how since Magic started off as paper, like I don't think it's going to get the same feel. So I think paper Magic's going to go. It's going to slowly go into Arena, and before you know it, I think we're going to lose paper Magic because going into digital form and coding and all that, it's just more expensive to do the ink and the process and the shipping, the packaging. I think as a gaming company, I mean, it's just easier to go digital products and be like the Activision for card games and go more the Blizzard, that Blizzard route.
But now, so here's, and so I think though there's something interesting about that though, right? Because the Blizzard route, they started out as a digital product, and then they started printing print, right? Isn't
Correct.
that what happened?
Yeah, because they've had the WoW thinking they went into the World of Warcraft trading card game. I could be wrong, but I think one of the first things. Yeah, they went from digital to paper, and now they're more or less just digital products.
Yeah. So yeah, that's an interesting thought. But I also think too, I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. That's the first time I've gotten that answer. So that kind of threw me off.
I'm here to surprise everyone. Just shock the audience. Let's get that view count up to 1,000. Let's do it.
Wow, that's insane. Okay. So, anything else on those 5 questions that you feel like you would want to unpack?
Let's see. So we had unbanned,
reserve
Planeswalkers, reserved list,
and then selling Wizards of the Coast?
Wizard of the Coast, I could see them selling it to like a much bigger company like Disney, Amazon. I mean, there's a few buyers that could pick up Hasbro, and it's not like they're a completely crappy company. They make toys and Magic the Gathering. That's their number one seller right now. So I mean, it's a very attractive product. So why would bigger companies pass up on potentially buying Hasbro? So I mean,
you mean Wizards of the Coast, right?
Well, I mean,
or you thinking somebody else would absorb Hasbro is what you're saying?
Well, because Hasbro's WotC's a subsidiary to Hasbro, so
yeah,
you'd have to. I mean, you could take over. You could buy out Wizards of the Coast. You'd have to. It'd be more of a longer contractual process. I think it could be done, but if you wanted to really Magic the Gathering, you would probably actually go after Hasbro. And I mean, just take the whole company, and that's a super profitable company right now.
Yeah, they're doing very well for themselves. They sell a lot of My Little Ponies and Transformers.
Oh yeah, like that, and Transformers been around forever. So
yeah. All right, so we're at the home stretch. Only a few more questions to go.
All right.
So this one is a very interesting one, I think. Anyways, we'll think if you think so. But anyways. If you could change one thing about the game, and let's just say you are a designer at Wizards of the Coast. You're sitting in the design space.
Okay.
And what would you do differently and why? And so let's just say, I'll create a scenario, right? You're getting ready to start designing for the next set. What are some things that you would say, we need to throw this in the garbage, we need to do it this way?
Numbers. I would crunch numbers first. For me, looking at it from an analytical standpoint, I would want to do if I was let's say if I'm taking over as head designer, I want to look at previous sets, get some average numbers, crunch like average mana cost, what have been some of the best cards in historically, and kind of base my stuff around that. I would probably also look at some, besides just the number crunching, maybe some cycles that have not been finished. That's also a video idea that I'm trying to come up with, like, what are the best cycles we could finish as far as like the dual color, tricolor themes. Maybe look back into what has not been finished, what has been like, what we could bring back, something that's been successful yet we don't do anymore. So there's a number of things I could do, but the first thing I would do is crunch numbers and get a feel for how the sets have, how they average out, and look at different possible things to do with those numbers. And it could be just a vast number of things, like how powerful creatures are, or how big the mana costs are, how many sorceries and instants per creature. There's a wide range you could go with that. So that would be the first thing I'd do, is crunch numbers.
So you would basically, you want to try to figure out, how do you sort of create that smooth line of play, basically?
Yes, exactly.
Nice. Yeah, I think there's a lot of us that absolutely would love to have that happen at some point. That's I mean, if they could fix the game like that, that would be great. I wouldn't say fix the game. I would say improve the game.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give a new player coming into the game, had never played it before? Say, hey, coach, I want to try this game out that you do these videos on. What advice would you give that person?
Personally, I mean, just if you want to learn the game, I mean, I'll teach it myself. I have a whole this particular cause right here is tens of thousands of Magic cards, and we could like figure out something to do. But I would probably, if it was like someone person to person, I would say, shoot, I'll teach it myself. If you got time, let's set something up, and I'll actually physically teach you myself how it plays. And then if that person wants to like learn more about it, go straight to YouTube, get involved with the Twitter community, and kind of expose them little by little to other personas. However, if you're talking about like an online personnel who is like, hey, what advice would you get for, like Magic, starting up Magic? Well, I would just go probably over to like send them over to Larian, or send them over to Cybin, send them over to like maybe Niza. Misa does good with like drafts and just strategy overall, I would kind of refer him to someone else who's a lot better and more knowledgeable of teaching the game than I would. But I would personally teach it if it was like a one-on-one, like in real life kind of deal.
Nice. So what's next for Coach? What's next that you're doing on your channel? What are some exciting things that you can tease? What is coming up?
The next video I'm working on are the best performing cards of the Weatherlight expansion. And that was specifically one of the videos Orzhov done from They Said We Said has, from John from that particular channel wanted to do. So I finished the audio, I finished editing the audio. Now I just got to put some visuals in. Hopefully this week, we'll be able to see that. I'm not guaranteeing that, but the audio's done. I just got to throw some pictures, maybe some effects in, make it look pretty, and get a good thumbnail, put some background music. We're good to go. But the top performing cards of Weatherlight, I'll probably go a few episodes of top performing cards of like the expansions. Oh God, I have like a whole. I wrote down all my ideas of what I could potentially do. I want to do the history of Magic the Gathering, the history of like 1994 Magic, 1995 Magic. I want to do like some more stuff with D&D, like Hero Forge, so I could like try to woo Hero Forge and give me like a sponsorship or something. But there's also like another video I want to try to work on is another like a larger D&D video. I'm working with my old professor on that. But nice. I wrote about 250 different video ideas that are potentially possible. I just have no idea where to start past the Weatherlight and the top performing cards of certain expansions. So there's a wide range of stuff. So I mean, Card Anthology might be taking a little backseat for a little bit because they are actually pretty hard videos to like research and kind of make a script for. This Weatherlight video was actually a lot easier than I thought. Script wise, audio wasn't exactly bad, so we're gonna go more the analytical score, mathematical route, and it'll blend some history into it because you'll talk about like past events, but it's more of an analytical, numerical number crunch kind of video. So top performing cards of Weatherlight coming up soon.
Nice. And I think by time the audience sees this, you will be able to see that on his channel. Speaking of, where can they find you? I know you have Twitter. Go ahead and let them know where they can find you.
All right, so my YouTube channel is the Card Bazaar. You could find me on the YouTube platform. You could also follow me at the Card Bazaar CC. I'm listed under Coach on Twitter. If you really wanted to contact me, you could follow me and shoot me a message. And I usually respond within, within the day. Sometimes if I look at Twitter multiple times, like 3 or 4 times a day. So if I see a message, I'll probably respond immediately. If you want to comment on one of my videos, I will probably immediately respond to that too, or as fast as I can. So if you want to reach me and ask me personal questions, go for it. I am more than welcome to like messages.
Nice. And I'll leave all the links in the description below. Coach, the Card Bazaar, thanks again for joining me. It was a pleasure having you on the channel, doing 15 questions with you. Wow, great stuff. So yeah, thanks for joining, man.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on.